Thomas Frank's Tottenham are set to take on Unai Emery's Aston Villa this Sunday afternoon, and in my opinion, if Spurs target Villa's weaknesses, this can be a comfortable win for the Lily Whites. In most of Aston Villa's games so far this season, they've set up either in a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-4-2, with the majority of their attacking play coming from central areas of the pitch. This is due to their best players being in the spine of their team: Ollie Watkins, Morgan Rogers and John McGinn, and teams have managed to limit this by simply staying compact. They haven't covered wide areas because there's nothing to worry about in wide areas. Villa don't have any natural wingers, they don't have any quality in those wide areas when going forward. So teams have set up with back fours, 2 DMs in front of them, or back fives, had the defenders and the midfielders stay close together, and it's been very, very difficult for Aston Villa to play through them. We know that Unai Emery likes his teams to pass through the opposition. They've struggled to do that. They can't connect, they can't link up, they can't create these triangles because they're overloaded, and Spurs can do something similar against Aston Villa this Sunday. Villa are coming off 2 wins in a row though. They've scored 5 goals in the last 2 games. Previous to that, they'd scored 1 all season. And one of the big reasons for this change in fortune for Unai Emery's men, in my opinion, is the way that the manager has tweaked using Ollie Watkins. Now, previous to the last 2 wins, Watkins was playing purely as a striker and he was left completely stranded up the pitch. Whereas in the last couple of games, he's been drifting a lot more to the left-hand side into wide areas. Now, a lot of teams that have set up well against Aston Villa so far this season have chosen to go with a man-marking system. So when Watkins starts to drift out to the left-hand side, the centre-back is then completely pulled out of position, and that gives the likes of Marlon, Rogers and other attacking players that Aston Villa have the space they need to start playing the football they want to in attacking areas. For me, this Sunday, Spurs should go with a zonal marking system. If Watkins drifts out wide, don't track him, because whilst his runs have been so much better in the last couple of games, his first touch is terrible. He's not the best finisher in the world, and that's when he's playing in his natural position and he gets the ball, let alone getting the ball in an uncomfortable position. He's purely there really as a decoy, as a distraction. A zonal marking system nullifies that. In my opinion, Spurs should set up with a 4-3-3 formation on Sunday. It'll allow us to attack in wide areas, be aggressive, play out and always seem to have an extra man. But the most important reason I would go with a 4-3-3 is for the midfield that I would choose. I would personally play João Paulinho, Pape Matar and Rodrigo Bentancur. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm a massive fan of Simmons and I want to see as much of him as possible in that number 10. But you play him in that 10, all of a sudden, Morgan Rogers has got a little bit more space to occupy. Watkins has got a bit more space to occupy. McGinn's got a bit more space to occupy. All 3 of those players, they're not technically unbelievable, but they are absolute workhorses. They're physically strong. And for me, if you don't go with 3 more defensive-minded midfielders, they can run all over us. If you do go with 3 more defensive-minded midfielders, it will be very, very, very hard for Aston Villa to play through them. João Paulinho, Rodrigo Bentancur, Pape Matar, all 3 of those. McGinn and Rogers aren't going to be able to play those lovely combination passes that they like to. Villa as a team aren't going to be able to create those triangles that they like to. And then when we do go to counter-attack, you've got 2 wingers ahead of you and a striker who's likely going to be Richarlison making a run forward. Now, in a 4-3-3, with 3 more defensive-minded midfielders, I believe with the ball Spurs should try to play out. If we do play out, we'll likely have 7 options at all times. Now, Villa are a good pressing team, but they're not going to commit 7 players forward to go man for man. So 9 times out of 10, we play accurate passes, we get out. Then with the ball in forward areas, in my opinion, Spurs should try and shoot from outside of the box. Villa aren't the most confident team defensively. They don't have the most quick centre-backs either. So when you get some space, have a pop. I know Thomas Frank isn't the biggest fan of his players shooting when the XG isn't high, but for me, in this game, do it. Try and build some momentum. You're at home, get the crowd on your side. Now, in terms of the wingers that we choose, I want to see Kudus on the right, of course, but I would play Johnson on the left. Am I a fan of Johnson? No. But without the ball, he can use his pace to get into great areas where the ball can be crossed to him. And Villa's defenders won't be able to track him because they don't have the pace to. When it comes to pressing Villa when they're playing out from the back, I think Spurs should stick to what they've been doing so successfully this season, and that's pressing man for man. We don't have the best technical players, but we do have good duel winners, aggressive players, and that's why when we've man for man pressed teams like Manchester City, they've really struggled to play out, and it's led to great opportunities in goals in many cases for us. I don't think Villa have the quickest defence in the world. Matty Cash, Pau Torres, Esri Konsa, they're solid defenders, but they are not quick players. They're not necessarily quick thinkers either. Are they going to be able to turn on the ball and play a pass forward if they're being pressed by Mohamed Kudus or Johnson? I don't know. In conclusion, I believe that Tottenham are on for a very comfortable win this Sunday if they stay compact, set up with 3 more defensive-minded midfielders, don't track Ollie Watkins when he goes out into the wide areas and stay positionally aware, deploy a zonal marking system defensively and deploy a man-marking pressing system going forward. I think this could be a very comfortable win for Spurs, and if they go and do everything I've just said, I don't see a world where Aston Villa come out as victors. We know that Emery's good at adapting things. He's changed to a back 3, a 3-5-2 at times. We haven't really seen it this season. I expect a 4-4-2 or 4-2-3-1. And if they play that and Spurs set up right, it should be a win.